Hi and welcome back to The Books Are Everywhere. So today we are doing my TBR mini golf game for November. This is where mini golf decides what I read for the next month. I don't know how many editions I am into this, but there has been a few. I will link the playlist down below, and I will also link the past month's video and the first video so you can check the historical videos about this. I will go through the rules of this in a bit, but before we get to next month's TBR, let's just have a look at how I did with October's mini golf TBR. So the first one I got was less than 300 pages, and I read City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I read this one as part of a read-along that me and Alex hosted, and I absolutely loved it. This was a reread for me. It was just under 300 pages, so it fit this prompt perfectly, and I really enjoyed it. This follows Cassidy Blake, who is a 12-year-old girl who can basically contact ghosts. She can go across the veil, and her parents are paranormal investigators who have a TV show, and she basically follows them around the world as they're filming this TV show and has adventures with ghosts. It's so fun. I would highly recommend this series for any age. It made me emotional in the last book. I've read all 3 books in this series this month, and I'm very glad that I managed to choose this in my TBR. And the second book I read also featured Victoria Schwab, and that was Vampires Never Get Old. I have just dropped the prompt, but the prompt was red cover, and this one was quite a red cover, so I chose this one, and I absolutely love this. This was basically a diverse collection of stories about vampires. It's rewriting what we expect, which is that a lot of vampires are often cis white males, they're able-bodied and they're heterosexual, so this one was just rewriting the rulebook on that. We have all kinds of characters and all kinds of authors, which I absolutely loved. It was so good. I listened to the audiobook of this, and obviously with any short stories I liked some more than others, but overall I gave this 4 stars and I really enjoyed it. And then we have Manga, in which I read Weathering With You Volume 2 by Makoto Shinkai, and again I really enjoyed this one. This is the second volume in the series, and it is based on the film Weathering With You, also by Makoto Shinkai, who also made Your Name or Kimi no Nawa. I love both of those films so much, and it is just a joy to be able to read the manga as well. They are the same story, but they're told from a slightly different perspective, which kind of comes across in the illustrations as well. There is a delightful little note at the back of this, which I absolutely loved. There's like an author note in the back, which is lovely, and I just absolutely love this. I don't know if it'll quite be a 5-star. I haven't reviewed this yet, but I did absolutely love it. And then I had a book haul in the past month in which I picked The Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill, and I love these graphic novels so much. I read all of these graphic novels in October and I absolutely love them. 5 stars for everyone. They are so cute. We follow, I can't remember her name, Greta, who basically starts looking after these tea dragons, which are adorable little creatures, and this one has so many lessons in it. It is so beautiful. We have such a diverse cast of characters. There is somebody in a wheelchair, there is somebody with a hearing impediment, there is just so many different things. There is a non-binary character, there is a non-binary author. I absolutely loved this series. It was amazing. The artwork is absolutely beautiful, the illustrations are impeccable, the writing is lovely. They are such a heartwarming series. I could not recommend these enough, and I'm so glad I picked this out and got to read it in autumn. And the last one I picked up was a thriller, and for that I chose The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. This is the only one I actually haven't read yet. I will read it. I still have time. I still have about a week to get through this one, and I imagine it will be quite quick, as usually YA thrillers and Karen M. McManus's books are. I don't know a lot about this one, and I don't really want to go into it knowing too much, because it doesn't really have a synopsis on this, because I do have the proof copy, but I do know that this follows some cousins, and I am excited to read it. I've read a lot of I've read 3 books of Karen M. McManus's and really enjoyed them, and again, this is a YA thriller. I think it involves some cousins, as per the title, but I will read this at the end of the month and I will tell you more about it in my monthly wrap-up if you want to look out for that one. So those are the books that I read for my TBR game in October. and haven't read yet. I do feel like I'm doing okay. I feel like I didn't push myself too much this month. However, I still have a couple of books that I need to read, so hopefully that won't get too stressful and I can get through those fairly soon. But anyway, on to the rules and deciding my next TBR. So this game, exactly how it sounds, is a TBR game where I decide my books based on mini golf. I have a little mini golf set. I try and hit the ball into the mini golf holes. I have 4 different holes and each hole has a prompt on. If I get that ball in a hole, I just choose a book that is assigned to that prompt. If I don't finish a book in the month, then I just carry it over to the next month, but obviously that would pile up if I did miss a lot. I try and choose 5 books per month, that is what I've been doing since the start. And the only real rules is if I don't get a ball in a hole within 5 shots, then I have to add another book to my TBR, but I don't think that's happened yet. And I maybe have to amend that if it doesn't happen at all. And I do have a rule that if I get 3 hole-in-ones throughout the game, I can swap a book or swap a prompt. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't got there yet, but when we get there we will see what happens. And I do need to replace the prompts on orange and turquoise because one fell off and I saw it and I do go into this blind. And the other one, we just didn't have one at the end of last game. So yeah, I think that's all the rules covered. Let's get down to the actual game itself. If you want a more in-depth look at the rules, then I would recommend checking out the first video in this series. So let's just replace those 2 prompts before we get started. So the prompt that is going to go on orange is this one. And the prompt that is going to go on turquoise is this one. So I've just tilted the camera down slightly so you can actually see what I'm doing when I'm trying to get these balls in the holes. But yeah, I've replaced the 2 prompts, so let's get started. So you should be able to see this from the other point of view on the other camera as well, so you can see what I'm actually shooting. But let's go and try and get some balls in some holes. So I'm not really aiming anywhere. Let's just go for it. Well, I missed that one. Okay, so we got one through green. Let's have a look what the prompt is. And the prompt for this one is fantasy. That is a very broad prompt. I'm going to try and think if there is anything I need to read in November and add that on. I think I actually have a book that I am going to read in November for definite, so I might choose that one. So obviously, as this is a very broad prompt, it does help a little bit, but I'm already going to be reading Kingdom of the Curse by Kerry Maniscalco. So this one is perfect. This is a fantasy book. It follows on from Kingdom of the Wicked, which is about wrath and what are they called, like sins of hell. And it's very interesting, and it's about kind of witches and mysterious things go happening and murder and death. Very dark books, but I've heard that this one is very spicy, so I'm quite excited to read it. I'm buddy rereading Kingdom of the Wicked at the moment, and then I'm going to be buddy reading Kingdom of the Cursed with a few people, which I'm excited about, and I think we are planning to start this on the 1st of November, so that is perfect. So yeah, I'm very excited to get this one onto my TBR. Let's choose another prompt to go on green. So the prompt to go on green is this one. Okay, let's go again for the second book. Missed orange. And I missed again. So that is 2 shots so far. Oh my god, I just keep going through the middle of them. So that's 3 shots so far. Let's try and get one in. Okay, we got one in orange. Let's see which prompt is on orange. So this one is a classic, and again, there is a classic I want to read in November, so I am going to get that one. And the classic that I'm going to be reading in November is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I have never read this, but me and Alex are going to be buddy reading it in November. We're going to be buddy reading it. I don't know much about it other than it is a Jane Austen book. I'm going to presume that there's some romance. The quote on the back of this book says we are all fools in love, but these books don't have synopses on them, so you know, they just go straight into the story. So I don't know much about it. I've never seen the film or anything. I do have a lot of hype for this one, so I don't know how it's going to go. But me and Alex are going to be buddy reading this one in November, so that works out very well. Okay, so let's replace the prompt on orange, and we're gonna go for this one. I don't know if that's on the right way up or not, but I'm gonna put that on there. Okay, so for the third book, let's go. Straight through the middle again. I'm so annoyed at myself. And we bounced off that time. Oh, that nearly went into orange. Okay, so we've got 2 shots left. I don't know where to aim for because we've only got 2 left and I want to make sure I get it in. Oh no, I missed it! That means I have to add a book to my TBR. Okay guys, we're doing 6 books. Okay, so now we're going to be doing the 3rd out of 6. This is not going to plan. It was all going so well, but we're just going to restart the count and just start again. So we're just going to do another shot and add another book. So we're restarting the count. I am on 0 shots again, but we also need to add another book to the TBR. So for the 3rd out of 6 book, let's try again. What always happens, it just goes straight over blue. And I never know whether to count that or not. Let's not count it. I think we can do it. We can do it. I'll be fine. So this is the 3rd shot of book 3 out of 6. Okay, we got into orange. I'm just using orange now because it's easy to get books into, to get balls into. This is chaos, but you know, we're going with it. Well, let's see what the prompt is on orange. Okay, this is an interesting prompt. This is Lgbt Fantasy. I am not entirely sure what I have on my Lgbt Fantasy TBR, so let's see. I feel like it's hard to know before you go into a book sometimes whether it is going to be diverse or LGBT or not. I have the perfect idea. Oh my god, a book just came to me and I'm going to read that. Hang on. I'm so excited. I'm going to read Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This is the 2nd book that I will have read by TJ Klune. I read The House in the Cerulean Sea and I absolutely loved it. And I can almost guarantee that this is going to be gay after reading Cerulean Sea. I am so excited. I really wanted to read this in October. I've been lucky enough to be sent a proof copy. Thank you so much, Tor. I cannot tell you how happy I am to be able to read this one, and although I won't be reading it pre-release, it'll be very soon after release and I'm very excited. This one is about Wallace Price, who is, he meets a reaper at his own funeral and accepts that he is dead, but instead of returning to the afterlife he is led through the woods to a peculiar tea shop, one that lies between life and death. Then he meets the owner Hugo, who is kind and charming and he helps souls to cross over. But Wallace isn't ready to leave his strange new home, not now he's met Hugo and is just starting to feel alive. So when he's given 1 week to cross to the other side, Wallace resolves to use the time he has left to experience a lifetime in only 7 days. So excited, so glad it's on my TBR. Let's go for book 4 out of 6. So the prompt that I'm going to replace on orange is this one. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're going to go for the 4th book out of 6. Hey, we got it first time! That's better. Okay, let's see what the prompt is on blue. Oh, this is interesting. The prompt on blue is sequel, and it's a shame that I've used up Kingdom of the Cursed, because that would have been perfect. But, oh, I do have an idea of what I could read, actually. These are like books that I've gotten recently, so I'm just like adding them to my TBR straight away. But okay, I think I might read that one that I can see over there. Okay, so I'm going to read Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. Again, I was sent this one by the publisher, so thank you to Simon & Schuster. I believe this one is already out again, but I'm not 100% sure on the release date for it. However, this one is the sequel about, to Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which I actually only read early this year and was also sent by Simon & Schuster, so thank you to them. But I've never read it before. It's very much a pinnacle YA LGBT love story, a coming of age story, and I'm going to read the sequel because, yeah, I have the sequel. I did really enjoy the first one and it was super quick to get through. However, this one is quite thick, so we'll see how long it takes. But yeah, I'm going to add that one in for sequel. So let's replace the prompt on blue with this one. Don't know what it says, but let's put it on. Okay, for the 5th book, and not the final one, because we had to add a book, we're going to try and not add another... So let's go for the 5th book and not the final book, the penultimate book on this TBR, because we're not going to add another one. I missed. Gotta concentrate. Okay, we went through green again. Let's see what is on green. Okay, green is graphic novel. So what I'm going to read is Weathering With You Volume 3. I've just read Volume 2. Let's carry on with the series. I am really enjoying this one, and even though it's a manga, I think it does count for graphic novels. So I have talked a little bit about this already, but it is set around the film Weathering With You by Makoto Shinkai, which is kind of a climate change manga film following these two people, one of who is kind of like an assistant journalist who has run away from home and got on this job, and the other of which is a 100% sunshine girl who basically brings sunshine to the city at detrimental cost. Very interesting, explores climate change and the impacts of climate change, and yeah, I'm going to carry on with this one. So let's replace the prompt on there and go for the final book, hopefully. And we are going to go with this one. Okay, let's go for the final book. Missed again. Okay, we got one in orange. Let's see what's on orange again. Okay, the prompt on orange is a really interesting one. It's lowest rated. So I'm going to go on my Goodreads physical TBR, which I have as a shelf. It has all of the books on my shelf on there, on my physical TBR. I'm going to go lowest rated to highest rated. Pick the first one, unless it's like the middle of a series of something I haven't read or whatever, and we'll see what comes out. Okay, so I've gone for the lowest rating standalone, which is Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey. I had absolutely no idea what it was going to throw at me, and honestly the lowest ones are quite surprising, but this one was the lowest standalone and the second lowest on my TBR. The first one was Witches Steeped in Gold, which I very much could have gone for, but I think I want to buddy read that with somebody, maybe Alex, so I'm going to save that because I think it might come up in like a group buddy read at some point. But I'm going to read Last Chance Books. Very excited for this one because it's about two rival bookshops, one of which is a chain and one of which isn't, and it's a romance. I picked this one up very recently and I've heard mixed things about it, so I'm not surprised that it is the lowest rating, really. Kind of surprised? I don't know, I had no expectations, but I am excited to read this, so I'm excited to read it in November. Why not have a romance in there? Hopefully it'll be quite a quick read as well, so that is on my TBR as well now. So this is my TBR for November. I am not mad about it. I mean, I know it's 6 books, but it's okay. I feel like it's doable. And I don't have any other TBRs this month, finally, for the first time in a couple months. Like, I've been doing readathons and stuff. So this one hopefully isn't too daunting. We have some books I'm really excited for. Two I was already going to read, and one is a graphic novel, so I'm pretty happy with this. But yeah, so let's just quickly go through these. So for the first one I got, it was fantasy, and I chose A Kingdom of the Curse by Kerri Maniscalco. And then I had classic, in which I chose Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And then I had LGBT fantasy, in which I chose Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. And then we had sequel, so I went for Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World by Benjamin Alire Sainz. I do apologise if I just butchered that name. And then we had a graphic novel, so I went for Weathering With You Volume 3 by Makoto Shinkai, and the art is by Wataru Kubota. Again, probably butchered that name, but I do apologise. And last but not least, we have lowest rated, which is Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey. What a month! Let's see how this goes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. As I said, I will drop down below the playlist for this whole thing, so you can go and watch it back if you would like to see any more of these, if you'd like to see my TBR for last month. And yeah, I'm gonna head off. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye!